If you're using AI tools, you've probably asked the question of what's better out of Claude and ChatGPT. And here's the truth, they're both insanely powerful, but they're built for slightly different purposes. So today I'm going to break it down simply. No tech jargon, no hype, just what you should actually use depending on what you want to do. And stick around to the end because the final verdict might surprise you. So let's start with the basics. ChatGPT is the all-rounder. It's great at conversation, creative writing, brainstorming, content ideas, coding help, summarising articles and PDFs, explaining complex topics simply. If you think of ChatGPT like an incredibly useful assistant that wants to help with everything, then you've got Claude, the calm researcher. So Claude is a bit different. It reads long documents incredibly well, it stays focused, it's logical, it's structured. It's great for deep writing, essays, reports, outlines. It's a bit less likely to ramble. It often feels a bit more human and thoughtful. So Claude's a bit like a quieter assistant that's a bit more concise. So let's go through a few of these categories and sort of work out which one works better or brings you the best results. So one of the biggest reasons people use ChatGPT and Claude AI is for help with writing. If you're looking at creative writing, then ChatGPT usually wins because it's good at creating stories and hooks and catchy titles. ChatGPT is really good there. It's a bit more playful, a bit more energetic, a little bit more imaginative. This of course changes with each iteration, so it can be hard to keep track, but how it stands right now is it's pretty good. If you're looking at a bit more professional writing, however, then Claude usually wins. And this would be stuff like emails and reports and essays, research summaries. Claude feels a bit cleaner and a bit clearer. There's just less fluff and a bit more precise, and it won't say every 2 seconds. And honestly, that's rare, as ChatGPT has a few giveaways that you're using it. But I'd still say if you're brainstorming ideas, then ChatGPT is pretty good. If you're polishing something a bit more professional and a bit more formal, I think Claude is just better for it. Or at least that's what it sort of sells itself on. If you take a look into coding and tech help or building tools, ChatGPT is usually better for coding. That's because it explains code very clearly and makes it easy to understand even if you're not a coder. And it can do like step-by-step debugging, which is good as well. And it can literally build tools for you, so it's really helpful in anything coding related. Claude can definitely code as well, but I've just had more success with ChatGPT if I'm honest. So if you are a beginner coder, I would recommend, well, try both, but I would probably say that ChatGPT is your best bet there. If we take a look at handling big documents, this is arguably where Claude shines. So if you've got like a huge PDF or a research paper or really long notes, then Claude's able to break it down and summarise it really well. ChatGPT can sometimes get overwhelmed with this and sort of focus on the wrong thing, and you have to sort of guide it a bit. You don't typically have to do it as much with Claude. So if you're like a student or a researcher or a writer, then Claude is just incredibly useful. Now, which one is more human? So both are good, and what I mean by this is that they don't sound super robotic. And both are pretty good at this, but in different ways. ChatGPT just has a few giveaways in the way that it talks. It does say a lot of the same thing, so certain things will seem a bit obvious that they're ChatGPT. Not all the time, and you can edit things yourself and tell it to talk differently, but it's just something to think about. Claude's a bit more straight cut with it. It's quite a believable language model. I think there's less giveaways. I think it's just super helpful and a bit more empathetic seeming, which ChatGPT can be as well, but I do think it's less obvious when Claude has been used over ChatGPT. This might not stay the same, like I said earlier, with different iterations of both AI language models. They are constantly improving and evolving, so we don't really know which way this is going to go. But in terms of conversation, I think ChatGPT definitely feels fun, and Claude feels a bit calmer. So depending on what you're doing, then that sort of makes your decision for you. Now, which one is actually cheaper? Because the subscription plans, they may change over time. But generally, both have strong free versions, with paid plans to unlock more features, and often the free version is more than enough. It's just usually a previous version. So I'd recommend using the free versions first, and if you just learn them, learn how to use them, learn what they're good at, you can then work out whether or not the pricing is worth it for you. But they're not really that expensive, they're both a fairly cheap subscription service. But which one should you use? If you want my honest recommendation, I think if you want creative ideas, social media posts, titles, and a bit of creativity, go for ChatGPT. If you want essays, research, or long documents to be summarised or clarity, then I would recommend using Claude. But you can just use both, and for different tasks. They're just tools. It's like having Word and Google Docs. So at the end of the day, the best one is probably the one you use more consistently and is more helpful to you. I do think ChatGPT has more versatility in terms of everything it can do, but Claude has its strengths as well. And if you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.